Good evening and a warm welcome to Thursday night's edition of Primetime News with me, Michael Madimba. Leading the bulletin tonight. Special Envoy to the Democratic Republic of Congo's DRC President, Professor Faustin Mokela Luanga, today paid a courtesy visit to Vice President Angola Mbumba. The purpose of the meeting was to lobby for the DRC's bid to contest for an executive position within the regional bloc.
Le Botswana, c'est le pays hôte, il ne peut pas discuter le poste de secrétaire exécutif.
Botswana is the host country. They cannot dispute the post of executive secretary.
Parce que Botswana, d'office, il a le secrétaire exécutif adjoint.
But because Botswana already they have the post of the deputy executive secretary.
Parce que s'il dispute encore le secrétaire général exécutif, c'est-à-dire qu'il dirige les deux postes, c'est pas possible.
If they dispute again the post of the executive secretary, meaning they are willing to take the both, which is not possible.
La situation que nous avions ici, les Namibie, doit peser, doit accompagner, non seulement accompagner notre candidat, faire aussi le lobbying pour dire, présenter la situation réelle de ce poste.
The situation we have here is Namibia to accompany, not only to accompany, but also to use the weight of Namibia to try to convince other countries to back our candidate.
The most important thing is now the issue of SADC.
La chose la plus importante maintenant, c'est le sujet de la SADC.
For SADC to get a most appropriate candidate.
Pour avoir un candidat approprié.
And also for the procedures of SADC to be followed.
Et pour que les structures de la SADC aussi soient suivies.
But my information I have is Botswana has put up a candidate.
L'information c'est que Botswana a aussi un candidat.
So from here now we will proceed to see how to proceed.
The Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture constructed 22 classrooms and 20 ablution facilities at schools in the Zambezi region during the 2020-2021 financial year, the governor of the region, Lawrence Sampofu, has said. Rodney Pinar filed this report.
Delivering the State of the Region address on Tuesday, Sampofu said Zambezi received over 2.6 million Namibia dollars for renovations and close to 2.4 million Namibia dollars for the construction of basic education facilities. In addition to that, an amount of 2.7 million Namibia dollars was received from the European Union for the construction of pre-primary classrooms. A total of 22 classrooms have been constructed in 4 schools which benefited over 1,000 learners, he said. Renovations in some schools and hostels were carried out, while 10 classrooms were built at Tobias Hanieko Combined School. He added that Caprivi Secondary School is in the final stages of renovation under an African Development Bank program. An amount of 43 million Namibia dollars was availed by the Ministry of Education to provide infrastructure such as flushing ablution blocks, kitchens, dining halls and hostels as part of its COVID-19 support. Meanwhile, the governor said, with technical assistance from the World Food Programme, over 5.5 million Namibia dollars was budgeted for the provision of a school feeding program as a social protection safety net aimed at ending hunger and improving nutrition.
Kunene Health Director Thomas Chapumba is called on various stakeholders to unite in encouraging people to get vaccinated against COVID-19 in the region, stating that the region is still running at snail's pace with vaccination.
Speaking to the Namibia Press Agency on Wednesday, Chapumba said the government has been responding boldly to curb the spread of the virus, leveraging past experiences with public health campaigns to curb the spread of COVID-19 through educational outreach programs to remote areas. He said, in order for everyone to be vaccinated and for COVID-19 information to be disseminated, all stakeholders should unite to encourage people to get vaccinated. The health director further advised people to disregard anti-vaccine misinformation on social media and said people should instead focus on facts and statements from reliable sources. He also noted that the region's vaccine program is moving at a snail's pace. Only 6,361 people have been vaccinated, which translates to 9% out of the total targeted population of over 66,000 inhabitants. Kunene has thus far tested 14,162 people with 2,988 positive cases and 60 deaths recorded. Shapumba also noted that Kunene received 9,252 Sinopharm vaccine doses, which have been dispersed to all health facilities in the region.
The Namibian police force NAMPOL has warned members of the public to be on high alert of a scam involving a non-recognized chief inspector from Special Branch who goes by the name of Martin Joseph Nekundi.
According to NAMPOL spokesperson Deputy Commissioner Kaona Shikwambi, in a media statement issued on Wednesday, Nekundi calls victims of crime under the pretense of being the newly appointed investigator to handle their pending cases because the previous investigator failed to apprehend the culprits and promises to do so in exchange for money. The individual is not a member of the police force, neither mandated to perform police duties. Hence, the broader public is cautioned to be extremely careful when sharing their information, she said. She said in the phone call, Nekundi will request the victims of crime to pay him while he is busy with the investigation, reasoning that the government is broke and in some cases, he demanded the culprit's bank account as well as PIN numbers and withdraw the money from their accounts unnoticeable. The Namibia Police Force is hereby informing the public that there is no way an individual police officer or an investigator will demand payment for service delivery from public members, and if anything of that nature happens, it is a scam, she stressed. Shikwambi therefore called on members of the public to report that particular individual at the nearest police station while investigation into the matter are ongoing.
Stand by for your top roundup.
Welcome wherever you are on Planet Football.
You can go anywhere in the world, but nobody feels football like we do.
And they sing, they dare to sing.
It's a rhythm.
A 1-2.
1-2. Football.
La football.
Soccer.
1-2.
That moves us.
Salah to settle it. There's no feeling like that feeling.
It's so nice. It's so nice.
Nothing compares to DSTV's unbeatable football offering. So stay connected to watch the best football on the planet.
And now a look into all things business and economics. Zambezi Governor Lawrence Sampofu has said border posts in the Zambezi region recorded a 26% decrease in revenue during the 2020-2021 financial year.
Delivering his State of the Region address on Tuesday, Sampofu said the global impact on trade caused by the COVID-19 pandemic had a visible impact on operations at the two main borders in the region. The border post experienced a 26% decrease in revenue collection due to the movement restrictions on informal cross-border trade emanating from the COVID-19 pandemic. The agency collected revenue of 65 million compared to 88 million, indicating a significant reduction, the governor noted. Import and export declarations, however, increased to 15,889 and 16,010 respectively, compared to 13,321 imports and 14,375 exports recorded in the previous financial year. Sampofu further said joint law enforcement teams conducted 34 operations, roadblocks, and border and river patrols to curb illegal activities and to ensure regulatory compliance. During the operations, penalties to the value of 225,000 Namibian dollars were collected.
Otava and Least Leisure today announced its decision to introduce urgent temporary rescue measures to safeguard the sustainability of its business, as well as mitigate the risk on the tourism sector, which has been crippled by the COVID-19 pandemic.
A media statement by the Old Harbour and List Group, of which Old Harbour and List Leisure is a subsidiary, said the third wave of the pandemic hit the region and their business hard, especially during the second quarter of the year. The temporary rescue measures include the reduction of basic salaries of employees at its various properties by between 25 and 50%, depending on the level of activity, effective 1st August to 30 October 2021. Old Harbour and List Leisure Managing Director Norbert Wum in the statement also said Chobe Water Villas and Mokuti Etosha Lodge will be closed until 1 October, while Strand Hotel Swakopmund will remain open for business with reduced operations, and its farmhouse deli remaining in operation for in-house guests and takeaway. Midgard Country Estate will remain open for business and at full operation with ongoing training and construction, with its official opening scheduled for towards the end of September. The Old Harbour and List Leisure Control Office will also reduce working hours between 25 and 50%, depending on work requirements, and with remuneration adjusted accordingly, the statement said.
It's time for the Business and Economics Roundup, followed by a trip to the marketplace.
We were born for this moment. For every rise, every fall, to make the impossible possible. To create moments that inspire and live the thrill of excellence.
On the grandest stage of all.
Forget the past, for the future awaits. This is that moment we've all been waiting for pride, for country, for you.
Brilliant performance that was.
The Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. It's go time on GoTV. Love it.
Welcome back. In your sports update tonight, we begin with Paralympic news. T11 sprinter Lahiha Ishitile, who will be making her second appearance at the Paralympic Games this year, said her journey as an athlete has not always been smooth sailing. Our sports journalist Hezron Kapanga filed this report. Ishitile, the visually impaired athlete who announced her arrival on the international sporting scene in 2014 by winning a bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games when she just turned 17, told Nampa recently that injuries and financial constraints are some of the obstacles that have stood in her way. In 2016 at the Paralympic Games in Rio de Janeiro, Ishitile did not win any medals in the T1100 meter, 200 meter as well as 400 meter races, but she set African records in the T1100 meter race with a time of 12.59 seconds and T11 200 meter with a time of 25.37 seconds, which was also her personal best. She also set an African record in the 400 meter race with a time of 58.97 seconds. The sprinter told this news agency she's 90% ready and will do her best whilst in Tokyo, Japan for the rescheduled 2020 Paralympic Games. Team Namibia currently has 3 athletes that will represent them at the Paralympic Games, slated for 25 August to 6 September 2021. Brave Warriors caretaker coach Bobby Samaria says Namibia performed well at the just-ended COSAFA tournament under the circumstances, despite missing out on the knockout stages. Marco Ndlovu, our sports journalist, compiled this insight. Speaking to Nampa a week after his team crashed out of the tournament which took place in Port Elizabeth, South Africa, Samaria said the quality of football displayed at the tournament was of a high standard. The organization of the tournament was good, taking into consideration the COVID-19 situation. I think we were not given a chance looking at the group we found ourselves in. Winning our first games against the two favorites put a lot of pressure and expectations on the team, Samaria said. However, drawing 1-0 against Malawi put paid to Namibia's chances of progressing to the semi-finals as the match against Mozambique was played 24 hours after the draw. He further added that as a team, they learnt a lot of lessons in the tournament, especially the small margins of winning, drawing, or losing matches. Samaria also took note of the fact that Namibia has not had an active league for quite some time. He added that players are expected to be training on their own, but most are not motivated to train without playing. Your sports roundup is up next.
Getting GoTV was the best decision James has ever made. See, James has always watched football wherever he can. Sometimes it got awkward. It was never really comfortable. And finding a good place to watch became more and more difficult, not to mention costly. Traveling for his games took its toll on James until he discovered something big. Now that James has GoTV, he can finally enjoy the perks of home ground advantage. Good for you, James. Get home ground advantage with GoTV. With superstar players competing in the world's biggest leagues and cup competitions, you'll be spoiled for football choice. So get and stay connected to GoTV for the best football season yet. GoTV. Love it.
We have come to the end of this evening's bulletin. As always, we thank you for tuning in. Give us a thumbs up and share. If you're new to this channel, please do subscribe. Also, click on the notifications bell to stay abreast with the latest happenings locally and globally. Do catch us tomorrow for Friday's edition of Primetime News. From myself and the entire production crew, it's good night.